Are you stuck in a relationship that drains you all the time but you can't leave? A lot of people have this problem. A lot of individuals think that strong emotional relationships are love, but they are often trauma bonds. This style of relationship is based on a cycle of terrible treatment and modest acts of goodwill. This makes a powerful draw that is hard to break. This is not love. Your mind is trying to deal with things in a messed up way by being loyal to someone who keeps hurting you. In this video, we'll show you 10 distinct symptoms that you're in a trauma connection and not really in love. The first sign is the cycle of abuse and idealization. One of the most important things about a trauma bond is that abuse happens in cycles with times of quiet or great love in between. It starts with stress and ends with an abusive event, which can be verbal, emotional, or physical. Then the abuser changes. They may say they're sorry a lot, give you a lot of things, or act very charming and affectionate like the person you fell in love with. This is the idealization phase, when you hold on to the belief that this nice person is really who they say they are, and that the abuse was simply a mistake. You recall the love bombing, the promises, and the image of a beautiful future, and you hang on to it with all your might. This inconsistent reinforcement gets you hooked, giving you a strong, almost addictive desire for the good times that makes it very hard to interrupt the pattern. You get hooked on the little bits of love, thinking they are a whole feast. Sign 2 is that you have a strong feeling of duty and loyalty. Even though it hurts, you could feel a strong feeling of loyalty to the person who hurt you. You stand up for them to other people, make excuses for what they do, or even blame yourself for what they do. This isn't natural loyalty. It's a twisted sense of duty that comes from the power difference. You might think that you are the only one who really gets them, or that you are the only one who can cure them. This feeling of being needed, or that you're the only one who can save them, gives you a strong sense of duty that keeps you going even when you're drowning. You can even feel bad for thinking about leaving, as if you'd be leaving someone who needs you behind. Sign 3. It's hard to leave even though you want to. You could really want to end the relationship because you know how bad it is for you, but you can't. The idea of being apart can make you very anxious, frightened, or even sick. It's not because you love each other so much. The trauma bond makes you very emotionally and psychologically dependent on someone. You may have been so attached to the connection that the thought of living without it seems impossible, even if that life is full of misery. A deep-seated fear, a fundamental fear of the unknown, makes you think that the pain you know is better than the freedom you don't know. Sign 4. Putting your abuser's demands ahead of your own. When you're in a trauma-bonded relationship, you typically put your abuser's needs, feelings, and wants ahead of your own. Your own health, pleasure, and even safety comes second. You could feel like you're walking on eggshells, always trying to guess how they're feeling and avoid making them angry. This isn't being unselfish. It's a way to stay alive. You give up your own identity, your own wants, and your own peace of mind in a desperate endeavor to keep things quiet so that the next storm doesn't happen. It's a long process that makes you feel less valuable when your voice becomes a whisper and your demands are completely ignored. Sign 5. They try to explain or justify what they did. You get really good at making excuses for your abuser's bad behavior. You may argue they had a rough childhood, they're just anxious, or I push their buttons. This cognitive dissonance helps you deal with the awful truth of the abuse. It's simpler to make excuses for what they do than to face the fact that someone who says they love you is hurting you. This story you tell yourself keeps you from facing the awful truth, but it also keeps you stuck in the cycle of abuse. You're attempting to fit a square peg into a round hole, which means you're changing the way things are to make sense of the things that don't make sense. Sign 6. Feeling cut off from friends and relatives. Abusers typically try to cut off their victims from the people who can help them. They could talk badly about your friends and family, manufacture drama that makes it hard for you to visit them, or say that you don't care about the connection. Over time, you can start to pull away from people who care about you because you feel ashamed or embarrassed about your situation, or because you're just too tired of trying to keep up with your other relationships while dealing with the insanity of your main one. This isolation makes the trauma link stronger, making you even more dependent on your abuser, because they are the only one you feel you can turn to for help, even though they are the cause of your agony. You lose your anchors and float deeper and deeper under their control. Sign 7 is a strong faith that things will get better. Even though you keep getting let down and hurt, you still believe strongly that things will get better. The abuser's occasional warmth and promises give this hope more power. You are always looking for evidence of progress, and you hold on to brief moments of serenity as confirmation that your vision of the relationship is still attainable. This isn't a good thing. It's a frantic longing for the suffering to stop, and for the wonderful person to finally show up and remain. It's the gambler's fallacy, which is when you keep betting on a losing hand, because you think the next one will win. Sign 8, going through very high and low emotional states. Your partnership is marked by significant changes in mood. During the idealization phases, you feel really connected and loved, but then you go through terrible lows during the abuse phases. This emotional roller coaster is tiring and confusing. The constant back and forth between happiness and pain puts you on edge, making it impossible to achieve true serenity or stability. Your nervous system is always on edge, like a wire that is about to break, ready for the next shock. This emotional roller coaster leaves you tired, bewildered, and completely out of energy. Sign 9. A loss of self-worth and identity. Your sense of self-worth and identity fade over time. You may feel like a shadow of your old self, losing interest in your interests, passions, and even your own thoughts. The incessant criticism, manipulation, and gaslighting make you less sure of yourself and make you question what you see and what you can achieve. You can start to believe what your abuser says about you and take their judgments to heart. This isn't love. Love lifts you up and gives you strength. A trauma bond makes you feel worthless and invisible, and it makes you completely dependent on the person who is breaking you down. Sign 10 is the need to explain your choices to other people or to yourself. You always have to explain or justify to yourself and others why you stay in the relationship. You could practice your arguments in your brain so that you can explain your choices to friends or relatives who are worried about you. You might be fighting with your own feelings, trying to figure out why you can't leave someone who hurts you so deeply. If you always need to explain yourself, it's a clear sign that your internal compass is off, and that your rational mind is having trouble reconciling the truth of the situation with the strong emotional pull of the link. You are basically attempting to convince yourself that your agony is an act of love and proof of your strength, but it really isn't. It is quite hard to break free from a trauma connection, and you may need expert help to do so. However, it is very important for your healing and health. The most important first step in getting your life back is to notice these signals. If any of these indications rang true for you, remember that you're not alone and there is a way to get better. Please leave a remark below with your opinions. Have you ever seen any of these signs? What assisted you along the way? Someone else who is having a hard time could benefit from your insights. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you liked it. If you want to learn more about the deeper causes of inherited patterns and behaviors, you might find my last video, Every Sign of Generational Trauma. Explained, very helpful. It talks about how things that have happened to us in the past might affect our relationships now. Thanks for watching.